It changed the turn of history. After another bombing of the city of Gori by the Russians, late President Lech Kaczyński came to Georgia, thus opposing the Russian aggression, and his speech turned out to be prophetic for the later fate of the eastern part of Europe. Today Georgia, tomorrow Ukraine, the day after tomorrow the Baltic states, and later perhaps time will come for my country, Poland. We were deeply convinced that membership in NATO and the European Union would end the period of Russian appetites. It turned out to be a mistake, but we can resist it. The conflict broke out when Georgia tried to restore control over the rebellious pro-Russian republics, Abkhazia and South Ossetia. The separatists were armed by Moscow, arguing it with the defense of the Russian population. The Georgian-Russian War began on the night of August 7, 2008. Georgians feared that the Russian army would want to occupy the capital. Today, Georgia is a free nation. In truth, it lost part of its territory. Nevertheless, this visit did not lead to the collapse of Georgia as an independent state. The historic rally of support for Georgians was attended by the leaders of Central and Eastern Europe, the presidents of Lithuania, Estonia, Ukraine, and the Prime Minister of Latvia. Ultimately, the Georgian-Russian War lasted only 9 days. For the first time, Central Europe has been able to successfully oppose Russian imperialism, thanks to the initiative of President Kaczyński. Late President Lech Kaczyński's activity thwarted Vladimir Putin's plans. The Smolensk crime was the very predictor of what is happening today, Russia's criminal imperial operation. The editor-in-chief of Gazeta Polska, Tomasz Sakiewicz, in his book The Testament of the First Polish Republic, helps to understand the essence of Russian imperialism and the idea of brotherhood between Poland and Ukraine, which was guided by Lech Kaczyński. A return to this concept was deadly for Russia because it meant dismantling the Russian Empire and building something much more attractive, a zone of freedom, a zone of democracy, a zone of economic development. Putin was afraid of this and saw it for the first time in Georgia. The figure of late Lech Kaczyński has become an inherent part of Georgia's history. The monuments of the Polish presidents that were erected in this country are an expression of his memory.
Lech Kaczyński
Georgians are very grateful to Lech Kaczyński for the support provided. He was a great friend of Georgia. Only in 2018 did the leaders of NATO countries condemn Russia's aggression against Georgia in a declaration issued. To this day, Russian troops are stationed in the integral regions of Georgia, Abkhazia, and South Ossetia, and a provocation is taking place on the so-called line of occupation.